Hello, I'm Logan Maddox. I'm a junior here at the University of West Georgia, and this is my Practicum Experiences presentation. I volunteered with 3 organizations this semester, the first of which was UWG Productions. It's a newly founded West Georgia program headed by Supervisor Corey Spates, and I helped them in one night of in-house coverage of West Georgia basketball. Dr. Pecoraro brought in Mr. Spates during this semester, and I had talked to him beforehand. I never really had any interest in helping them out until he talked to us about all that they do. It really seemed interesting to me, so that made me jump on it and help them out. In the first game, I ran the replay machine in the women's game, and during the men's game, I used a Panasonic camera to video the game's broadcast. This showed me all that goes into a student-run broadcast, and it's a great connection also because I've already talked to Mr. Spates about possibly helping them out as a graduate assistant if I pursue my master's degree at West Georgia. The second of which organizations that I helped out was WGA Radio. That's a radio station in my hometown of Cedartown, Georgia. I had worked with them in the past, volunteering with them, broadcasting sporting events. They're well known for being the only radio station in Northwest Georgia to self-produce every local high school baseball game. This semester, I volunteered helping them out on the production side. So I wasn't just doing broadcasting. I was setting up video and radio equipment. I was running graphics on their Facebook live streams. I was doing the commercial breaks and breaking down the setup afterwards as well. It showed me all the elements that go into a sports live stream, and it gave me a better understanding of the entire process. Not just broadcasting like I was originally familiar with, but all the different moving parts. The last organization I helped out was the SIAC, the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. I talked to their Director of Communications, Tyler Williams, at the 2020 West Georgia Sport Expo. She told me that they needed help on the athletic communications side of things during their conference championships, so I jumped on it. I emailed her and we set it up. Drove out to Rock Hill, South Carolina, spent about 4 days helping them. At their championships, I paid attention to the games. I prepared questions for the press conferences afterwards. I actually led all the press conferences. I was asking questions to the coaches and the players. That was a lot of fun. It showed me all the work that goes into athletic communications during a conference championship. So not only just the press conferences like I was doing, but watching Tyler Williams and her associates, what they were doing with dance shows in between games, talent shows at halftime, booking play-by-play people, and working with Flow Sports to set up the broadcasts and everything. It showed me definitely a lot of work, a lot of time and effort goes into that. Also a fun note, a lot of the people that work at the SIAC are actually graduate assistants, and they secure those at member schools or other colleges in Georgia. My experience highlights. I learned a ton with UWG Productions. I found out how to put together a student-produced sportcast. At WGAA, I found out how to put together a professional live stream, all those moving pieces. And with the SIAC, I saw firsthand how months of effort and work go into coverage of a conference championship week. The biggest surprise, though, to me was how nice and accommodating everybody was in the industry. I think it was because I applied myself like it says, and I showed true effort. I showed initiative by reaching out to the people right when I knew that I'd be interested in helping them out. I reached out, and they were glad to bring me on and let me volunteer with them. I also had some other opportunities through that, like the graduate assistantships, also Morehouse College. Their sports information director pulled me to the side at the SIAC championships and told me he was really impressed with me, and that if I ever need some work or anything, just they can set up an internship and I can come out there to Atlanta and help them out. How did it change my expectations of the sport industry? Well, at first I was just expecting to get my bachelor's degree, honestly, and go into the workforce, but now I believe I'll be getting a graduate assistantship. It'd be good to add that extra education and get some more experience while doing so. I also will consider internships, I think, because originally I never really considered an internship, but I realize all the great stuff that you learn during an internship. You're getting great connections, and I'll touch on that here in a second on the next slide, but I'll definitely consider internships now. As far as working in the industry goes, though, it absolutely fueled my desire to work in sports. It made me want to be a sport industry professional one day that much more. What 3 steps will I take to make me better prepared for the industry? The first one is I'm going to put an emphasis on building connections with those in the industry. Everybody I met was talking about connections, connections, connections. They can serve as references. Every person I worked with, Miss Williams, Mr. Carter, Mr. Spates, they all told me that I can be using them as a reference on applications. They can help better me as a professional, teach me all these different things that they've learned, tips and tricks, and possibly share future job opportunities with me down the road. Secondly, I'll be more willing to reach out to businesses because that's how I secured these volunteer experiences, so I'm going to do the same in the industry. By reaching out directly rather than just checking a job board, I can show true initiative by saying, hey, I know that you're looking to hire for this, but I just wanted to say I'm really interested in your company. If there's anything I can help out with, just let me know. So maybe you can get my foot in the door that way. And finally, I'll be willing to intern or volunteer in the industry because there's so much more to gain in an internship than not doing an internship. You may get paid, you may not, but you're gaining these skills, you're adding connections, you're building up a resume. It's just fantastic, and it all really works together. All in all, I enjoyed my practicum experience, and I think it was great for me on my road to becoming a sport industry professional.